Hey, and welcome to the CogniSoft coaster recognition demo. Your CogniSticks package should have included a cup coaster like this one. And what we're going to be doing in this demo is training the CogniSticks to recognize some of these icons on the coaster. So this is going to serve as a basic introduction to doing object detection using the CogniSticks and the CM1K. In this demo, we're also going to be taking advantage of some basic image processing routines available in OpenCV. OpenCV is a great resource for developing computer vision applications, and the example code for this demo can show you how to integrate OpenCV into your own CogniSticks application. In order to keep the example code simple, we've created a very minimal interface for this demo using only the basic GUI routines available in OpenCV. The demo is controlled using keystroke commands, and the console itself includes a list of the commands for your reference. One quirk of OpenCV is that it's important to mention here is that the keystrokes need to be sent to the webcam window and not to the console. So just make sure that you have the webcam window selected when you're using this demo. So with all that out of the way, let's get to the demo. So the first thing we're going to do is train the CogniSticks on one of these icons. So I'm going to pick this little robot guy up in the corner here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to position him within the red bounding box at the center of the webcam feed. And then when I think I've got him close enough to the center, I'm going to hit the space bar to grab a still frame. And that'll make it easier to train. So that looks good. And then we're going to train that icon as category 1. So I'm going to press the 1 key on my keyboard. And now it's learned it. And if I bring the robot back to that box, it recognizes it as category 1. So you can see the label there at the top and also the color changes. So category 0 means that what's in the box right now is not recognized. And then category 1 means that we've recognized it as category 1. So you'll notice now that the CogniSticks is recognizing the robot icon pretty effectively. Can move it around in there and it should show category 1. But you'll also notice that if I move around the other parts of the coaster, it'll flicker greens indicating that it's also identifying other icons as category 1. And that's obviously a behavior that we don't want. So this brings up the concept of counterexamples. So when we train the CogniSticks or the CM1K on an object to recognize, we need to train it both on positive examples as well as counterexamples. So in order to do this, there's a feature in this demo that will automatically pause the webcam feed when it recognizes something. So we can turn this on by pressing the A key on your keyboard, A for auto pause. And so what this is going to do is when I move the coaster in front of it, it's going to pause it as soon as it recognizes something. So that's not the robot, so we want to train that as a counterexample. And the way we do this is with a special category number, category 0. So category 0 has a unique meaning for the CM1K. It means that we want to train this input as background, or we want it to not recognize this input. So I'm going to press the 0 key on my keyboard, and that will train that as a counterexample. So now we're gonna do that multiple times here until it stops recognizing bad inputs as category 1. And that's looking pretty good. But if we go back over to the robot, it should still recognize it. So I'm going to turn off the auto pause now by pressing A again. And we should see that it flickers green if I bring the robot over to the box. So that's looking pretty good. So with just a handful of training examples, we've been able to get the CogniSticks to pretty reliably recognize this robot icon on the coaster. And there's a couple reasons that this works. The first reason is that the CM1K, which is performing the recognition here, implements a machine learning classification algorithm. These type of algorithms are able to generalize to correctly classify inputs that don't exactly match the examples that they were trained on. The second reason is that we are actually performing some image processing in the background to make the inputs easier to classify. Specifically, we are calculating the gradient magnitude for the pixels within the region of interest. The gradient magnitude is a simple method of identifying edges within the image and measuring their strength. We can actually see a visualization of this by pressing the D key. So I'll press the D key, and bring the robot icon back into the ROI. And you can see the edges that it's detecting there. You can see the edge of the coaster and some of the outline of the robot. So edges are great features to use for object detection because they capture the shape of the object while providing some invariance to some factors that could otherwise confuse the recognition, such as changes in the brightness of the image. So now that you have a basic understanding of how the demo works, you should be able to train the CogniSticks to recognize additional icons on the coaster by using more categories. So for example, you could train the robot as category 1, and maybe the globe icon as category 2. So I hope you've enjoyed this demo and that you're looking forward to applying OpenCV and the CogniSticks to your own computer vision applications. Thank you.